Can you please mute your mic?
Madam, we can start now.
Yes, sir. We shall start now. So, good afternoon, everyone. I think almost 57 participants are here. So, I would like to welcome Chirag sir again to enlighten us with the topics on blockchain in research trend, right?
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Let me share my screen. My screen is visible, I suppose. Is my screen visible? Please confirm my screen is visible and I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I am talking about research trends or recent research avenues in blockchain technology. And this is my second session on Gusto sponsored workshop on blockchain introduction to applications. And I suppose this is the last session or maybe the second last session of the workshop. This is going to be my flow of presentation, evolution of money in blockchain technology timeline and hype cycle. We'll also discuss blockchain technology ecosystem and research clusters because these clusters are very important. Blockchain and AI projects and domains, blockchain and IoT areas and research potential, blockchain in agriculture, avenues and use cases, and then we'll also discuss some use cases with blockchain and banking and other sectors. So one more time, Corona pandemic has taken over the whole world, and now we are hopefully out of the grave danger. And I hope the pandemic will be completely over by very soon. This is my acknowledgement slide, which I call it disclaimer kind. The presentation acknowledges content, especially images that are taken from Google. And the universal Google image URL is www.images.google.com. The images are used purely for an academic purpose, and the presenter has no intention of copyright infringement. As you know, I generally start my sessions with quotes. So this is from Neil Armstrong, the first person who put his feet on the moon, surface of the moon. He said, "Research is creating new knowledge." It's a very big statement. And the second one is from Albert Torigi. He says, "Research is to see what everybody else." Research is to what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody has ever thought. So again, actually this talks about, before I move to the formal slide, let me brief you because many of you are students, maybe bachelor's, master's level students, and some of you are faculty members. When we say research, and when I'm talking or I'm delivering a lecture in an engineering college, research, when we say it's about engineering research. See, for science, it is very good to start research because science has very basic aspects in which you can definitely continue your research. But engineering is all about applied science or technology part of scientific methods. And because this technology part of scientific methods or applied science or applied technology is there, it is sometimes it is lucrative to find research avenues. Sometimes it's not that much easy to find out research avenues because technology has its own domains and norms. So when we talk about technology level research, one word is very common, and that is interdisciplinary research. Now, when I say interdisciplinary research, if I limit it to an engineering college or master level program, you might have seen many avenues in which a chemical student or one chemical and one computer engineering students actually come together and on some common problem or optimization problem, they are actually doing research. Likewise, the branch of mechatronics. So you will find a mechanical and an EC guy or a mechanical student and an IT or computer students. They come together and they work on some mechanized problem, and they just try to find out the amicable solution. And this solution does not include only the development part; it includes the research part also. Or if you talk about the field of computer science and engineering or information and technology, there are many avenues. There are many technology domains. One such domain is obviously the blockchain technology, which we are going to talk about. One what such is like cloud and maybe storage, or you are working in some database management system and then maybe some cloud-based application development, or you are working in some data mining algorithms, or you have and then maybe the cloud storage. Or another important area is data science and data analytics. And now there are many aspects or avenues of machine learning or deep learning. Now, artificial intelligence, machine learning is mimicking the artificial intelligence is all about mimicking the human behavior, learning appetite, and all this. Machine learning is a subset of AI, many people say, and machine learning is nothing but you have to cultivate adaptive learning techniques or adaptive learning methodologies. And then comes the deep learning. And whether it is machine learning or whether it is deep learning, 85 to 90% or sometimes 80% of the data set is used to train the neural network or or the algorithm. That means research has potential. In engineering, research has potential. But before that, let us have some chit chat and let us spend some fun time in understanding the evolution of money, and then definitely we will go to blockchain and research avenues. So 6000 BC, we had barter systems, goods like food and collectibles exchanged directly, return barter system. Then 700 BC till present, precious metals came like gold and silver used as a medium of exchange for buying goods. And then fiat money, we discussed about fiat money. And just excuse me for 2 minutes. So, uh, so fiat money is all about paper fiat currencies backed by nothing, and it is printed by central banks. Like I already shared the example of Reserve Bank of India in our country's context, that is India. Bitcoin, it is a sound peer-to-peer electronic cash system. It got started in 2009 till 2017. BTC, and then BTC SegWit, that is 2000 August till date. So Bitcoin is a sound peer-to-peer electronic cash system. It is transaction fast and low fee. No third party is required. And Bitcoin SegWit is a settlement layer with high fees and slow transactions. It is not used for payments. Third party is needed to reduce fees. That's why it's been there. And then Bitcoin Cash. It is a sound peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Transactions fast and low fee, and it is again no third party. It is still from 2017. It is so. This is regarding the evolution of money. Now, why we are discussing evolution of money? As I said, it is not fun part. It is for information also, because Bitcoin first we need to understand. Then only we can understand, because we already know that the technology Bitcoin is not limited to cryptocurrencies. It should not be limited to money aspects or monetary aspects. There are many research avenues, and that's what we are going to discuss today. So evolution of blockchain technology. Now we come to a bit closer. It's a zoom angle. So 2008, 2009, it was a technical experimentation stage. So it was initial version of blockchain. Hash functions were there, distributed ledgers were there, asymmetric encryption, proof of workload were very much part of it. Then say the geek initial stage. Geek is a very well-known term. You as the computer engineering faculty members and students, you know what is geek, so I don't need to explain it. So 2010-12, Bitcoin exchange, widespread mining and forum. And then 2013 to 2015, it was market formation stage. Sudden rise and fall of Bitcoin, emergence of new cryptocurrencies. 2016, 2018, explosive growth. Formation of the core platforms, phased applications of the blockchain technology. In 2022 to 2025, it was industry maturity. After the various blockchain projects are effective, they will enter a fierce and rapid stage of market competition and industrial integration. The industry leaders will be formed. So this is the era in which Bitcoin will take over other domains also, other technological spheres also. And this is the era in which the industry will go with a mature development of platforms and development environments. Now, if we continue our discussion on history of blockchain technology, uh, Stuart Harbour and Scott Stornetta worked on the first blockchain, that is 91 to 2008. 2009 was considered origin when Satoshi Nakamoto, the founding fathers, releases his Bitcoin first white paper. And then after 2010, the first Bitcoin purchase and 10,000 BTC takes place. 2012 transactions were dominating the Bitcoin technology forum. 2013 Bitcoin marketplace surplus is $1 billion. So you can see 2010, 2003, only 3 years and 1 billion, it crosses 1 billion marketplace. Uh, Vitalik Buterin releases Ethereum white paper, and 2014 is considered to be the seminal or semi-seminal year in which blockchain technology R3 is formed, and it forms the consortium of over 14 legacy financial companies for implementing blockchain technology. And this Ethereum blockchain is funded by CrowdSell. 2015 is marked by contracts. Ethereum Genesis block created, and Linux Foundation unveils Hyperledger to enhance the blockchain development. And then came 2016, in which the bug was found in Ethereum DAO code, exploited and attacked. In 2017, EOS is unveiled by the blockchain, and 2018 onwards, its applications. So once you understand this, now we can sum up or we can summarize. And this is the, so it's digital power ring. Now this digital power ring has bill, note, value, money, fiat money, bartering system, gold, commodities, and all this. And there is a trustfulness and trustlessness. And then there is the outer circle called digital power. And this digital power actually talks about the high level needs. So high level needs have selfless individualist and selfless socialist. So functions of money is nothing but medium of exchange, unit of account, and store of value. So this is the basic function of money. But this basic function of money has created the native digital cash, and this native digital cash is on emotional aspects, intangible in nature, because commodities, they are tangible and physical in nature. Now, once you understand that the evolution of money and the part of currency stuff, now we enter the official area, which is the talk of today's session, or the theme of today's, sorry, the theme of today's session. So we already talked about artificial intelligence and machine learning. We know cloud computing, we know IoT and edge computing. Conversational UI. Conversational UI is something which is very important. Chatbots we are working with. Security and privacy, biometrics, customer experience, the way we have user experience. Uh, like we have quality of service. If I talk about software engineering terminology, we have quality of services like availability, fault tolerance, and all this. We have quality of experience, which is one abstraction above. Likewise, you have user interface. Now you have customer experience. So user interface UI, say one step above, that is one abstraction level above, that is customer experience. So so these are the digital trends, and these digital trends is actually driving the digital transformation cycle. And this digital transformation cycle affects some portions of business areas like business models, strategy, remote work, workforce, business operations. Now, once you understand that, yes, these are the business areas, we need to understand the digital transformation and the evolving economy, because they go hand in hand. Now, the digital transformation talks about many business areas that we already discussed, but digital trends is all about cyber security, AI, Internet of Things, and digital platforms. And out of this two, we are going to discuss at a greater stage in this session. On the right hand side, one picture is visible, which talks about blockchain deals by geography. If you talk about United States, 40%, other countries 30%, China 15%. So deals made in blockchain technology, UK 8%, Singapore 4%, and South Korea, which is one of the prominent techno-driven country, is 3%. Now this is called the hype cycle. Now this hype cycle is for your reference only. When you focus on this hype cycle, see, when you focus on this hype cycle, you will find about cryptocurrency, decentralized web, zero knowledge proof, blockchain, UX and UI technology that we already, user experience we already discussed, blockchain interoperability, consensus mechanisms, and all this. Now, when they all are there, this hype cycle is expectation versus timeline graph. And this timeline graph actually shows about the peak of inflated expectations also. One more time, the hype cycle is there in front of your screen. Fine. And this is iBlockchain. It is driven by Federal Ministry of Education and Research. I have kept this slide just for information that there are principles, research, partnerships, strategy, cooperation, and decentralization. These four are very mid words when you think about research. That's why I have kept this slide. This is one timeline graph, which again talks about the maturity, and it is in sync with our earlier slide that 2023 onwards, the blockchain technology platform would be in the process of attaining maturity in terms of platform, in terms of research, in terms of development environments. Now, this is the research ecosystem. If you recall my previous session, we discussed about blockchain ecosystem, and this is research related ecosystem. It not only talks about the trends and products like IBM, WhatsApp, it also talks about list news, Internet of Coins, the DO hack, mobile payments, effects on central banks, Ripple news, voting. So these are some of the avenues. I call them research avenues. So this is a research ecosystem so far as the blockchain and the surrounding technology fraternity is concerned. And there are some actual stuff like Microsoft experiments, Singapore experiments, and you can find white papers on them. But there are some products also like IBM Watson, IFX, so all this. Now, if we form the clusters from the previous slide, these are some clusters, cluster 1, cluster 2, cluster 3, cluster 4. And these are the clusters in which you can work, like you can have a smart contract combined with healthcare, or you can have smart contract with IoT, or you can have distributed ledger with transparency. So you can work on some transparency algorithms, and your uh, test bed domain can be distributed ledger. You can work on some privacy related algorithms or machine learning embedded with privacy, and you can work on peer-to-peer computing evolution. You can work on decentralization using some AI methods. So this is all about cluster 1. If I talk about cluster 2, you can work on ICO with entrepreneurship. You can work crowdfunding with cryptocurrency. You can work on some trust-based algorithms where the test-bed domain is either fintech companies or cryptocurrencies. You can take cryptocurrency models, and these cryptocurrency models can be applied on some entrepreneurial finance. So these are cluster 2. I'm just combining I'm just giving you very trivial examples of combinations. Actually, each one of the cluster can have one full hour of discussion, but again, that is beyond the scope of the workshop. If I talk about cluster number 4, you can have value creation in marketing. People who are in management, who are management students or management researchers, for them it is one lucrative research domain. Sustainability and business model. Now, there are many corporate houses which are working on sustainability and business model. Taxonomy and big data. Now, this is big data and big data analytics is one prominent area in which this taxonomies can work. Likewise, if I come to cluster number 3, you can have supply chain and management, or you can have digital transformation and supply chain management. Now, if I take the slice view of the previous clusters, I can have digital storage embedded with big data, or I can have information management and then forecasting paradigms, or I can have blockchain coupled with machine learning. Or what I can do is I can work on data privacy along with smart contracts. So I can use smart contracts. So when I say research, it may not be pure research. It may be an applied research. It may be a corporate driven research. It may be industry demand research, or it may be industry driven research. So you can have you can work on data privacy using some smart contract mechanisms, or you can have data privacy with the support of Ethereum standards. You can work on information systems, and in this work you can take social media as your test bed, and then you can work on privacy part, or you can work on some article bifurcation in supply chain management domain using some kind of blockchain technology. So you are segregating and aggregating articles based on blockchains, but in the field of supply chain management. You can work with distributed ledger along with, you can work on distributed ledger with trust mechanism. So trust mechanism is one prominent word in research area, and this is very much possible. So like the author has also given some, the way I have given you some combinations, the author has also given some combinations, like one cluster which is shown using red color. It talks about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. One cluster number 2, which is shown using green, blockchain adoption. Cluster 3, CB environment, business model innovations, is yellow color. So these are the prominent areas. And I cannot say that you can have the matchmaking of blockchain with genome sequencing. But these are major areas right now which the industry as well as the research organizations are seriously thinking about research as research avenues, which is befitting the title of today's session, second session. So blockchain, genome sequencing, genome editing, robotics, 3D printing, autonomous vehicles, energy storage, mobile connected devices. These are areas. Now, if we zoom in or if we summarize them, I can say that AI, blockchain, and IoT. Now we are zooming in. So blockchain, decentralized infrastructure, apps, crypto tokens are there. AI, machine learning, data science, and big data, yes, prominent domains are there. And IoT, intelligent infrastructure, autonomous transportation, and industry IoT and robotics. So when we combine the previous slide, this is the evolution graph. AI and machine learning. Yes, very much prominent. You can see NVIDIA and Baidu partner to build AI platforms for automatic vehicles. Ford invest $1 billion in Argo.ai. NVIDIA, Baidu, and ZF launch industry's first AI autonomous vehicle computer for China. NVIDIA unveils AI computer. Bosch announces $4.6 billion investment in AI. MIT's AI makes autonomous cars drive more like humans. So this is all about AI and machine learning. The dotted red lines is all about 5G network technology, and it talks about various 5G evolutions and all this. And the dotted lines, which is slightly more dotted lines, actually talks about the blockchain technology. So basically, these are the overview of the ongoing projects. So there are many projects which are already ongoing, and these projects basically has and let us just discuss some of them because there are many projects in fact, but we have just taken a few of them. App development for easy and rapid decision making, or remote sensing for rapid crop monitoring. And you can see a cropter taking survey of the crop, and a person is controlling the movement of the cropter. Machine vision for automated image processing and feature extraction. Machine learning and data analytics for unveiling hidden patterns. IoT for real-time crop monitoring. And biogenic volatile sensing for detecting novel plant signatures. So these are some of the projects. Now from the projects we can come to know that 43% of blockchain has an impact, and people, 54% people in company, they know about the blockchain. 21% is aware of information about blockchain. So now we come to a very important statement from Gartner. He says the goods and services industry is a $2 trillion industry, and by 2023, blockchain will support the global movement and tracking of goods and service industry. And we all know, already have discussed that 2023 to 2025, it is going to be the maturity part of the blockchain technology. So now your obvious question is, what are those major sectors that are using blockchain? So number one is still financial sector. Number two, information technology. Number three, medical. Number four, schools. Number five, real estate. So there are many applications of AI and blockchain. Now this slide is specifically kept just to make you aware about the applications which combines AI and blockchain together. Smart computer power, protection, trusting AI while making the decisions, data monetizations, and creating diverse data sets. If we talk about IoT powered by blockchain, there are smart contracts of IoT, public infrastructure and smart cities, property management, retail industry, industrial manufacturing, financial service and insurance, and connected vehicles. There is global trade and transportations also. Now, once this is understood, you can understand this top 5 blockchain benefits. Why blockchain? Because it can enhance security. Now, security is one major area. You take any domain of ICT, security is one major. Traceability. Think about goods and service. Think about the social networking sites. Traceability. Better transparency. Think about cryptocurrencies. Think about various governance structures and all this which is using blockchain. Better transparency. Improved speed and efficiency. Now this is an important quality of service parameter. Speed and efficiency. And when we are living in the world of data centers, speed and efficiency is anyway very important. So there are benefits of blockchain in different sectors. If we talk about real estate, the benefits are tokenization, property sale, real-time accounting. If we talk about energy sector, reduce cost, improve transparency, and environmental sustainability. If we talk about trade and finance, data integrity, streamlines processes, market reactivity, code reduction. If it say healthcare, universal patient profile, drug traceability, better clinical trials. So these are all very major areas. If you say drug, healthcare, these are 5 major areas in which the research institutes in pharmaceutical industries are working. If you say real estate, the product developers, the application developers, for them, these are tokenization, property sale, they are the big challenges. So they are not only challenges, these challenges are research avenues also. And I already told you, research sometimes or majority of the times may not be the pure research. There are very few avenues where pure research is conducted. There are many domains in which the industry sponsored or industry driven research is also being conducted. And that's where the final year engineering students or master level engineering students can really work very hard, and they can come up with some kind of optimization or some kind of analytical or some kind of machine learning or pattern finding kind of work. Now, blockchain also transformed the social media by removing the user as the product. Now, this is a very big statement because social media is working very hard on this. So through blockchain, you can remove the user as the product. So this is one area in which you can really do substantial research. Control over content. Now, it is content proliferation era. So any technology and social media is anyway, because 85% to 90% of our data is unstructured data. People who are quite aware with big data, the V's like volume, velocity, veracity, variety, you are also aware that unstructured data, structured data, and semi-structured data. Semi-structured data examples are XML and JSON file. Structured data is like the conventional data, which I can very easily put into rows and columns, which can be very easily processed by SQL, sequential query language. And unstructured data. Unstructured data includes your images, video streams, slides, posts, dislikes, content of the email, content of a Word document or a PDF file. So 85 to 90% of the data that we are generating, and we are generating zettabytes of data. And zettabyte is what? Billion terabytes or trillion gigabytes. So we are generating zettabytes of data, and these zettabytes of data, out of this like 6 zettabytes of data, that is 6 billion terabytes or 6 trillion gigabytes of data, 80 to 85% of the data is unstructured data. And through blockchain, in this social media, you can get control over the content, which is a very big statement. It's not a statement, it's rather a research even. Improved security, we have already discussed. Protecting freedom of speech. Yes, this is one social aspect, and blockchain can help us in this. In-app payments, there are companies which are making billions of dollars through this app payment services. But in-app payment, yes, blockchain can definitely strengthen the security aspects, the other. It can mitigate the vulnerability. So in-app payments related vulnerabilities can be mitigated using blockchain. So this is also one research avenue. Compensation for post and influencers. So influencing, marketing, YouTube channels, these are very much in circulation, and you can create a monetary model or a finance model which can decide the compensation for post and influencer market. Authenticating legitimacy of content. Now this where posts are getting viral, and this virality of post has created some of the law and order kind of issues. Authenticating legitimacy of content is one very prominent area in which I think major companies are actually working, and students can also think about it. Freedom to access information. Verified marketplaces. In-app tokens. So you can generate those tokens, and this tokenization can actually help in terms of creating better choreography structures or orchestration structures in a micro services sector. So there are lot many people who are actually working in the development of microservices, or what we call service-oriented architecture-driven services. But this eNAP token can actually help you to really integrate these microservices. And by integrating them, you can actually integrate the platforms. And this is something which is very market-driven or industry-driven definition. So if you really work in this, yes. So blockchain is having this much of potential. That's what we are discussing. Verifying online identities. Now, anyway, verifying digital identities itself is one major area, and this is a subset of that. So you can verify the online identities. The other areas, apart from finance and research collaborations, is know-how, medical data, and microbial data. Microbial data is one major area. The reason being is this is one area in which the virologists are working, and since pandemic now we are very clear that there has to be a very concrete model which can combine data analytics, the virology features, and so researchers from healthcare, researchers pure in medicine, and researchers who are with data analytics, they have to come together, they have to sit across the table, and they have to really analyze this viral or microbial data. So this is one area. Now, if I'm talking about research, obviously your query is okay. We agree that healthcare has raw data, has data source, clinical data, laboratory data, claims data, social media, medical images, patient generated. So each one of the word which I have just spoken, medical images, it is one prominent area. Image processing, a lot many machine learning algorithms, patient generated data or laboratory data. So laboratory data, yes, when you are analyzing behavior of some like thousands or millions of tests are conducted for had been conducted for COVID, laboratory data is there. But then if you can put, so these are all healthcare raw data. But this healthcare raw data is data only. You can have data and the metadata related to this data. But then you have to integrate blockchain technology. And how do you do it? So you have to build blockchain platforms. You have to create networks and protocols. And then you have to work on various components and service development using various types of blockchain. So you have to use blockchain technology on these blockchain platforms, and you have to develop certain components and services which has to be interoperable in nature, which has to be platform neutral, and then they have to deploy them on the networks using some of the finest this IoT enabled protocols. So once your healthcare raw data layer is clear, and I hope I have explained it. Now I am explaining this blockchain technology layer, and then you can think about creating healthcare applications for data management, supply chain, and IoT medical things. I already told about medical images, medical data, laboratory data, clinical data. But now you are, but medicines and nowadays the hospitals talks about lot many sensors, and they are real-time sensors which are sensing the stuff. So Internet of Medical Things, supply chain and data management. And based on this, so these are three major verticals: data management, supply chain, and Internet of Medical Things. And without compromising security and privacy, because that is a challenge. Because if I'm building blockchain platforms, if I'm using blockchain platforms, I'm using various types of blockchain technology models. And if I'm building components and services, I have to ensure that these components and services does not compromise on certain security and privacy aspects. And then I can deploy them on some networks, maybe edge networks or cloud networks through various protocols, IoT-based protocols, IoT networks, and all this. So these three verticals: data management, supply chain, and Internet of Medical Things. Now, who are going to be the stakeholders? The end users, the end beneficiaries. So number one, government, because accordingly they can roll out their vaccination programs, they can roll out their public health infrastructure, they can roll out the budgetary provision so far as like countries like India, they can roll out their budgetary provisions. So data management, supply chain, and Internet of Medical Things can help them. Business users, companies, hospitals, 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 Anyway, so my screen is visible now.
Not now, sir. You need to share, I think.
Yeah, I have to share it one more time. Okay. Now I suppose it is visible.
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Okay, fine. So we were talking about the regulatory agencies. So these regulatory agencies, a lot of so friends, the only point which I want to highlight here is these are interconnected dots. I cannot say that research can work in isolation or supply chain can work in isolations. I cannot say that the Internet of Medical Things has nothing to do with networks and protocols, or I cannot say that data management has nothing to do with development of
Hello. એમ પૂછીએ ને ભણાવો.
Okay. So I hope I'm back. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the only point which I just wanted to highlight here, am I audible now?
Yes, sir. You are audible now.
And the screen is visible. Fine. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what I want to highlight here is very clear that just by we cannot say that these are scattered islands. They have to work in collaboration. And this collaboration itself is a research opportunity not only for researchers, but also for engineering graduates or postgraduates or PhD scholars. Now, once we are fine with that, this is just the enlargement of one of the use cases that I have discussed, like data management. So there is clinical and raw data collection. There are clinicians and researchers. There are data owners. Here the example is patient. And then there is data management, curation, refinement, and all. And then what you can have is you can have hospitals, universities, they can work, and they can work on clinical data repository, clean, structured, and encrypted data. And what they can do is they can acquire permissions, they can work with data integrity, and finally, what they have to work on, they can work on developing certain smart contracts based on DNN classifier. So here the title of the research is developing a DNN classifier for smart contracts. But you can see the number of stakeholders who are involved in this project. So this is just one research definition, and I have just enlarged the research definitions, which include stakeholders like hospitals, insurance companies, research institutes, universities, and then you can have clinicians, researchers, data owners, and certain processes also, hash of data, grant permission, acquisition of data, data integrity verification, data retrieval, access methods with credentials, and all this. So you can take this as projects or you can take them as research definitions and you can work on it. Likewise, this is the second case in which there are healthcare providers and there are customized user accesses. And what you can have is you can have a doctor and patient, and then you can have database, blockchain, and cloud storage. So here, blockchain is the technology platform which helps to deploy things on cloud via databases. And then you can work, once it is on the cloud storage, you can work on building EHR, health records, and then you can work on to customize user access. So your research can actually target portions of customized user access to provide better access to health records. This is the third idea. So this is a general stuff. So what you can do is you can have data dissemination, you can have result disseminations, you can have clinical practice guidelines supported by the regulators. There are clinical applications, there is research area, and then there is a research study. And this research study includes actually the medical research study. But then data analytics and idea is your part. So you can have startups formed, or you can have people who are data scientists or who are big data analytics people. They can work in this area. They can really standardize the data use, reuse, and repurposing. And data reuse and repurposing again is one prominent area, like while sensor area network or cloud, in which people are actually working. So you can have this kind of summarization. And this is all about the thing which I explained. I said there are many verticals and there are many stakeholders involved. So the rows are some of the stakeholders or stakeholder entities, and the columns are nothing but some verticals or some technology verticals based on which you can work. Now we move from our medical stuff to regenerative agriculture. So this is one area, regenerative agriculture, where blockchain can help you out. Chain link network. This is the place in which, so you can have some satellite people or remote sensing people involved in your project or research work, and then you can work on chain link network. And this chain link network can help you to develop hybrid smart contracts. Utilizes satellite data to reward stewards of targeted regenerates agriculture who improve the plant's climate. So this is where the actual farmer or the actual person who is working in the farmland actually get benefited. And India needs such kind of research and such kind of projects in large quantities, where the actual end users, the actual laborers, the actual miners, the actual farmland workers actually, or farmers, they actually get benefited. Now we move to another domain, that is the 6G network. We are quite optimistic about the capability of 5G network, but now we are talking about 6G network. So this 6G network, there are certain challenges like massive connectivity of the systems, security requirements, its scalability. Because scalability, yeah, massive MIMO technology, that's where scalability comes, but security requirements. High data consumption of the future tenants like Wi-Fi, Li-Fi, these are what we are talking about nowadays, device resource restrictions, integration requirements, and interoperability. Now there are certain blockchain benefits for 6G. Intelligent resource management. It's a blockchain benefit given to 6G. Elevated security features and scalability. And what are the blockchain applications that you can do in 6G? Industrial applications for Industry 4.0, smart healthcare, decentralized and trustworthy 6G, communication infrastructure and solutions you can build on 6G, and seamless environmental monitoring and protection. Like we have 6G offers you seamless connectivity. The same seamless connectivity you use to create seamless environment monitoring and protection. Now, when we combine these challenges, benefits, and applications, what we get is research opportunities. And that's what the students of Charuset or the PG scholars of Charuset have to do. They have to first list out the challenges. They have to also look at some of the benefits or some of the prominent features of the technology or the subject or the domain. And then they have to think about the existing applications and the future projection of applications. And once you combine them, you will definitely find some market-driven research opportunities like Internet of Everything. जैसे मैंने बोला, Internet of quality of service. One abstraction above is quality of experience. Likewise, we have Internet of Things. One abstraction above is Internet of Everything. So when you have 6G and blockchain combined together, golden handshake, you can think about Internet of Everything. Data storage and analytics, because we already talked about elevated security features, resource management. So that's where data storage and analytics comes. AI, vehicle to vehicle communication. This is one prominent area. And UAV, unarmed vehicle. Unaerated vehicle. Sorry, not unarmed. Sorry. These are 5 use cases for blockchain data management. we left data management some 2 slides before, intellectual property, governance, security, accounting, and legal document management. And how you are going to build these data management applications? So you can have data warehouses based upon which you have to build, or you can use APIs. Then you can construct or deploy widgets, and then above it you can build or develop user tools. Now the user tools will be targeting the analytics part or the end users. But APIs is for programmers and widgets is for designers. So here programmers, designers, as well as analysts, they can really get not only employability, but they can really get good projects or good research projects to work upon. Another area is Moodle. So you can use this token metadata. You can use learning records, and you can build a very uh, robust Moodle mechanism. So far we have discussed some specific cases and all this. Now what we are discussing is if we are thinking about blockchain related stuff, efficiency, trust, and transparency. You can keep technology components like Starlight, Baseline Protocol, and Nightfall, and you can develop products. So now I enter a new area. Yeah, last was the only slide just to make you aware about how vertically you can grow. Now I talk about the introduction to blockchain plus AI. And what are the notable blockchain AI vendors? There are major players: Tatao, Sonam, A2Z Labs, Golem, and Cortex. And what are the current landscapes of AI? AI technologies are all centralized. All the companies hold the information and protect their algorithms rather than making them open source. That's why centralized AI can't be fully trusted. Another major drawback is that building any technology with deep learning would require you to spend a lot of money. The hardware and power supply costs are making any deep learning technology project really hard to continue for a long time or a very long time. As a solve, blockchain technology can cut cost up to 10 factors. Now, this is the benefit. First two are landscape challenges. The third one is the solution. With blockchain, you will be able to solve all technical issues with great efficiencies. And that's why blockchain's role in AI technology is very clear. Blockchain helps us build a distributed supercomputer. What AI blockchain can do here is to help you out to build a distributed supercomputer. Users on the network can lend their computing power, and by connecting them, it can become a supercomputer in no time. Blockchain can connect different marketplaces. Not only blockchain would be able to connect all the marketplaces at once, but it will also give rise to new AI driven business. Blockchain can increase the overall AI user experience. This new AI blockchain technology can be used to build innovative, smarter applications and a very robust kind of user experiences. That is UX instead of UI, UX user experiences. Blockchain can solve the trust issue. Blockchain would be able to track the AI communication with other instances. Thus, it can rebuild your trust in AI, and you'll be able to depend on it safely. Now, once we know this, let us discuss top 5 AI blockchain projects. So before we do that, why to use AI for blockchain solutions? Perfect platform for better encryption as it allows working with encrypted data. It can support in auditing all decisions made by AI algorithms. It can help in faster risk detection and management. AI and blockchain solutions can improve transparencies. Now, once you are aware of this, these are the top 5 projects. Now, all these projects, the white papers are already available. So I just leave it to the audience to just go through the white papers. Singularity Net, Deep Brain Chain, Thought AI, Blackbird AI, and Matrix AI. So Matrix AI is a AI blockchain project for providing robust advantages of cybersecurity and intelligent contracts. Singularity Net is decentralized AI marketplace for development and financing for AI projects. Deep Brain Chain is decentralized AI cloud computing platform for AI development. So it is a decentralized AI cloud computing platform. That's what we were talking about for AI development. Thought AI is an AI solution that uses blockchain and embedded data to generate business value. And Blackbird AI is combining the power of AI and blockchain for combating fake news. Now, this is the image for Singularity Net. And if you visit the site of Singularity Net, it will have profile, metrics, charts, research, and news. So Singularity Net has been designed to meet these requirements like delivering intelligence services to corporations, other organizations, and individuals. Fostering so this is the vision statement of or mission statements of Singularity Net. Fostering the emergence of increasingly powerful distributed general intelligence. So there are three aspects: artificial intelligence, artificial general intelligence, and artificial super intelligence. Artificial intelligence is developing one program or developing one product which is excellent but only for that domain, like chess playing supercomputer or go playing program, or robot for some specific task. Artificial general intelligence is generalizing the AI capability. So AGI, when it will be reached by 2035, it will be all about, it will be matching the human capability in all aspects and all domains simultaneously. So it is artificial general intelligence. After 2040, it will be artificial super intelligence, where the singularity will be achieved and the machines will surpass the human capability. The compute machine, the machine intelligence will surpass the human capability. So here, deploying artificial intelligence for ever increasing benefit. So that is general intelligence, artificial general intelligence, AGI. So for Singularity Net is right now having mission statement about increasingly powerful distributed general intelligence. And the third mission statement or vision is deploying AI for ever increasing benefit to as many humans and other sentient beings as possible. So it's a distributed computing architecture for making new kinds of smart contracts to facilitate market interaction with AI and machine learning tools or ML tools. And these are the design principles. And now the design, I'm not going to read the whole stuff. The design principles is focused on data sovereignty and privacy, modularity, and scalability. The second project that we were discussing is Deep Brain Chain. It's an AI computing platform driven by blockchain. And this is the image for that. And this is the token sale public offering 9% to mining production 50%. And the quantity was 0.9 billion DPC for the public token sale, which will be touching in the first 5 years of mining, 500 million DPC is produced each area, and the income is reduced every 5 years by half. So the reason of Deep Brain Chain is to build the infrastructure for the 5+ AIoT era, which is aimed at providing all industries with low cost, private, and secure high performance computing power. So the mission is to accelerate the advancements of AI in the area that is undergoing the explosion of smart devices, data, and computational need. So data vertical, computational vertical, and smart devices. And this Deep Brain Chain is to accelerate the AI in this era. So Deep Brain Chain allows AI neural network operation to be decentralized and distributed over mass nodes of the whole world using blockchain technology. And that's why the cost can be just 30% of the user's self-built neural network server and less than 50% of the traditional AI centralization cloud computing platform. That's what we were talking about. Another one is AI metrics. And this is code-free smart. So the reasons for this AI metrics is AI mining algorithm, generative adversarial network, that is GAN, on-chain AI server, and code for smart contracts. Now from this you can develop the agents, and these agents can create, you can give them tasks, then they will take up the task, they will withdraw the liquidity, and then what they do is they can really match the trigger price with, so this is for one specific applications. Another is companies like Datarelia, Ocean, Fetch.ai, Boss, Mobits, and IEA Mobility, they are coming together. So you can offer, and what is the objective? You can offer your empty parking spot on the decentralized marketplace and negotiate or earn from drivers looking for parking spots. So a driver is looking for this. Agents match with users' preferences. Parking spot is available. Agents negotiate and agree time and price for booking the parking spot. A couple of projects I have also seen on this parking slot, but this is AI blockchain driven parking slot project. So you can have many transactions in fraud detection. So you can, using AI blockchain, you can draw the decision boundary in hyperspace, and you can create fraud part and the non-fraud part. So AI is the future of cryptocurrency trading. So let us discuss them. So these are some of the projects: Deep Brain Chain, Numerai, Bot Chain, Matrix AI, and many more. So AI blockchain is not limited to these 5 projects which we discussed: beauty services, car repair, computer repairer, electricians, home painting, home cleaning, fitness coaching, dog walking. Yes. So AI for blockchain is all about automated referee and governance, privacy preserving space personalization, and secure and scalable blockchains. But blockchain for AI can give you explainable AI, coordinating untrusting devices, decentralizing computing for AI, and secure data sharing and marketplace. So these both the verticals are very clear, and these themselves are the research definitions which I am sharing with all you students and faculty members. So the road to AI traded digital investment using blockchain has 4 stages: proof of concept, asset tokenization, digital investment on blockchain, and then AI agents trade DIA over blockchain. Now we leave AI blockchain and now we enter another area called blockchain and IoT. Now this blockchain and IoT has this kind of setup. So on one side you have devices comprising of sensors and networks. So you can have actuators which convert sensors which convert the physical entity into digital entity, and actuators, generally speaking, they convert the digital entity into physical entities. So you can have devices made up of sensors, smart networks, and you can have applications. And then in the central controlling part, you have got the blockchain database, which has been fed by other data sources. And what does it offer? This blockchain with IoT, what does it offer? It offers you anonymity, publicity, security, resiliency, cost saving, speed, immutability, and decentralization. Now this immutability, decentralization, resiliency, security, they are very strong research requirements. Publicity, speed, and cost saving, they are very prominent industry requirements. So anonymity, decentralization can help you to achieve immutability, publicity, resilience. So this is a perfect match of blockchain with IoT. So if we compare 2017 to 2025, so far as IoT is concerned, 2017 is all about monitoring and controlling relatively simple use cases via an app of your smartphone. That's what we should call conventional IoT or legacy IoT applications. 2025 would be taught about living in smart cities where things communicate and share data with each other securely without human interaction. This is the future. So if I want to realize that future, I have to work on smart home security, industry 4.0 product tracking, shipment tracking, data transactions, digital currency, and data protection. And this is how I can connect the dots. I can connect the supply chain management. And this is the perfect example of one supply chain management, which is taking all kinds of cargo, steamer, train, and air routes and combining for an optimized route optimization. So you are working on route or optimization algorithm, but when you combine it with supply chain management and IoT, you can create your own PhD definition. Likewise, blockchain network can help you to create dashboards. So you can have the help of IoT sensors. E stands for energy, O for occupancy, T for temperature, and A for air quality. And there are various segments. A person's looking in his or laptop or tablet, where temperature, air quality, and energy is important. A person working with some experiments where temperature and humidity, energy, and air quality is important. a gym kind of setup where temperature, air quality is important. So I can create a blockchain where these individual space or live spaces are the blocks. And these blocks have IoT sensors. These IoT sensors can give me data and I can control this data through dashboards. So blockchain IoT is all about smart cities, smart devices, pets, smart lighting, retail industry, connected vehicles, cameras. So these are all industry driven stuff. There are many industry projects, industry driven projects where companies like Cisco and other companies actually are working very hard. So it's a global blockchain IoT market share. What are the drivers? Growing of IoT adoption, increasing need for reducing operational efficiency. And what are the opportunities? Growing number of government initiatives and increasing use in construction industry. And who are the key players? Intel, IBM, Amazon, Microsoft, Cisco, R3, Ethereum, Filament, Cryptc, the Linux Foundation, they are the major players. So when I say blockchain IoT market, it is valued at 125 million in 2019, and it is expected to register a annual growth rate of 93 point, that is 100% growth rate almost. So what they offer to you? So region wise, end user wise, it offers you automotive, healthcare, manufacturing, retail, construction, government. Application wise, it is offering data sharing, smart homes, data security, smart contracts, asset tracking and management. By offering it offers hardware, software, and services. When I was mentioning Steve Jobs quote, the last slide of previous session, I told you that is the only company which is making its own hardware and software. So here is the example. So blockchain adoption is significantly impacting every industry that manages connected IoT things. Organizations that are relatively more mature in adopting IoT, they are also ahead in their implementation of blockchain technology. So there is 75% IoT technology adopters in the US having already adopted blockchain, and they're planning to adopt it by the end of 2020. It's already been gone. So why blockchain is a game changer for IoT? Number one, stronger working relationship with your partners. It offers. And second, greater efficiency as partners take advantage of the information being provided. That means blockchain enables IoT devices to participate in a transactions. Reimagine the world's most fundamental business interactions. Open the door to invent new styles of digital interactions. And it reduces the cost and complexity of operating sustaining business. This is IoTW blockchain ecosystem. I'll just read the constituent elements: manufacturers, end users, and service providers. And among them, there is IoTW, and it engages in buying and mining. There are services and parts, but among them, there are products and data, services and part. Now, I have kept this slide just to make you aware that Internet of Things revolutionized. The first blockchain-based SIM card is there in the world, and it is dedicated to smart cities. So it is Orange Live Objects, Blockchain of Things SIM, and Smart NFT token. So it is using these three major technology verticals, and it is a blockchain-based SIM card. And you can see this BIoT SIM card. That means the globe would be covered by all these people in days to come. Since 2017, IOTA run the data marketplace. We already discussed this. Initiatives with EnergyNet and other industrial and IT companies. Now I end that IoT part, and now I enter the blockchain in agriculture. Now, what are the major domains in which this blockchain in agriculture can work. One is optimization of food supply chain, and there are many use cases, and there are companies like AgriChain or Agri Digital which is working. Transaction based, so Demeter, AgriLedger, they are working. Crop insurance, Etherisk, World Cover, they are working, and traceability. So these are four major areas in agriculture in which blockchain has potential. So these are 10 possible use cases out of those four areas: overseeing farm inventory, enhancing agricultural supply chain. So engineering student can make a golden handshake with BSc Agri student, and they can create work on this project using blockchain, enhancing agriculture supply chain, modernizing farm management software, agri-tech IoT optimization, fair pricing, greater accountability for multinationals, mobile remittance for small farmers. This is very much helpful. People, farmers who are actually worried about the fair prices, right prices for their crop yield, community supported agriculture. And if you really want to work on that, you can work on this area: pre-planting, cultivation, harvesting, storage, processing, wholesale marketing, retail marketing, and consumption. There are 14 ways blockchain will transform the banking sector. We already discussed some CBDC and NFT and all this, but let us discuss this with perspective of research opportunities. Interbank transactions, blockchain can really help interbank transactions. Remittance, smart contract enforcement, crypto banking. Crypto banking is one prominent area. Loan syndication, yes, it is also one major area. Regulatory technology, record sharing and storage, data security, trade finance, regulatory and reporting, increasing transparency. There are 10 ways blockchain will transform legal services and regulation. So you can have blockchain law, smart contracts, smart contract regulations, public documents, intellectual property rights, notary services, digital intellectual property, dispute resolutions, chain of custody, and corporate filings. There are 10 ways blockchain will reinvent in the non-profit sector, dominated by NGOs, philanthropist control, cross-border donation, donor anonymity, mining for charity, lower administrative cost, giving chain transparency, cryptocurrency donations, auctioning digital collectibles, goal-driven fundraising models, and facilitating emergency aid. And this is Gartner's evaluation for blockchains. So if I want to work on blockchain technology as a researcher, I have to think about development team. You have to read white papers. Uh, you blockchain, you have to remember, blockchain is not limited to cryptocurrencies. The criminals cannot hide behind the blockchain, and blockchain can still be improved. These are 5 verticals. Content delivery networks, blockchain based content delivery network is one area. Privacy, piracy, green energy, and creators and artists. So with this, it is almost 1 hour 20 minutes since we started, but that's all from my side. Again, the same quote. Thank you very much. So I have talked about research avenues, research opportunities, research use cases, research applications, research trends, and research avenues. So whatever blockchain can offer, I have taken the combinations of blockchain and IoT, blockchain and AI, blockchain and banking, blockchain and agriculture, blockchain and energy sector. So that's all we have discussed. Anyway, I hope when you will leave the sessions, you'll be ignited minds, and I just welcome questions. Mohit Parikh. Yes, Mohit, please shoot your question.
Hello, sir. I'm
खीमानी
audible?
साहब ने बोला जो खीमानी ने रूसी त्रिवेदी हाँ बोलो यस
Sir, I have a question regarding can we use blockchain in a communication technology or a communication sector while normal call or a video call something?
You can see I already talked about the applicability of blockchain technology in 5G and 6G network. So yes, there are certain communication algorithms, there are certain communication technology where wherever you need privacy preservation, security enhancements, content delivery network related stuff, where you need seamless, we discussed that seamless connectivity and enhancements, you can definitely use blockchain, but make sure whether you want to use blockchain only for the communication or you have some test bed requirement, you have some industry driven requirement like seamless connectivity where blockchain is applicable, and that's where you use them in the existing communication network. So my friend, the message is loud and clear. To kill a mosquito, I don't need a sword. So if I have the substantial, see, research, yes, you can definitely use. I agree with your query. But what efficacy and efficiency or value addition it brings when I use a blockchain with the existing communication algorithm? If my communication algorithm needs a certain level of accuracy or privacy or some kind of uh, applicability or seamless connectivity, and then I'm using blockchain to preserve that, then it is worthy and it is justifiable. Otherwise, these projects will not be supported by research funds or organizations.
And sir, I have another question.
Please.
As you say, blockchain is a distributed database, so it consumes our different types of computer resources, right? And
First thing first, blockchain is not a distributed database. It's a distributed setup. It's a distributed setup which is based on decentralized. So the better word is decentralized rather
yeah,
than
yes,
distributed. Okay.
yes.
You can
But
just.
it consumes different types of or many computers or resources of users. So if attacker wants to attack that computer or any resource, then he can easily attack any resources while accessing the blockchain from blockchain.
Uh, 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 Dear friend, we already discussed that the hyperledger, which is right now in the implementation stage, which is already been implemented,
Yes.
all the nodes need to be attacked simultaneously, and they need to their security need to be compromised, and for that you need computing power of $7 billion. So that is number one. That is point number one. Point number two. Uh, Blockchain is a decentralized infrastructural setup where how the transactions are refined, validated, and then added as a block. We already discussed. So in these such kind of scenarios, there are many attacks like man in the middle attack. The conventional attack cannot be thought about. Number one. Number two, regarding the consumption of the computing power, it is the inherent feature of blockchain implementation. So if you really want to implement blockchain technology, yes, certain inherent feature would be definitely part of it. But look at the application side of that. In cloud, in AI, in IoT, this inherent feature actually helps us to build many products and services and components.
Okay, sir, I got it. And sir,
Thank
I
you.
have another question. Uh, as I was researching on communication sector, how we can use a blockchain or like that. So at there, I got a problem where in some research paper there was a written that the storage is matlab, storage it consumes high cost as a storage in blockchain. But in some other research paper that was written, it consume very less cost.
Uh, Actually, it's a contradicting statement which you are referring. My query to you is, when you do more literature review, actually you will come about the setup. So you are using blockchain, but on which setup and at which scale you are actually working? If your setup is very small enough, it would be a different case. If your setup is medium enough or large enough, then it would be a different kind of scenario. So that is number one. Number two, there are certain aspects of blockchain technology through which you can strengthen your security aspects, your contract aspects of storage. Am I right? Yes. So I advise you to work on those aspects. So I have already shown you that there are certain challenges and there are certain avenues and there are certain applications. You put them together on one piece of paper. You try to go for more literature review, and then you can zero down on one challenge and one research gap or research opportunity. And then based on that research gap and research opportunity, you try to reconduct your literature review, and perhaps you will come up with better blockchain based implementation research papers.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, welcome.
Sir,
Hi, madam.
sir, can any project ideas or research ideas for cloud computing in blockchain in cloud computing?
Uh, in fact, there are many, but cloud is a service model. So basically, when you are thinking of blockchain in cloud, uh, you have to actually take your testbed application. Like, I can use machine learning to train my chess playing program, or I want to use my machine learning to train my image sensing algorithm or image processing algorithm. Likewise, in cloud, some of the prominent research areas are like scheduling or scheduling algorithms, or energy efficiency, or I can say resource optimization or resource allocation optimization. So these are some prominent areas in cloud computing. Now, out of these three, there is one area in which blockchain actually can help you. Blockchain can actually help you. And then you can think about blockchain to be intermingled with cloud. Like we discussed that this blockchain 3.0, which talks about IOTA. So this IOTA definitely has certain inroads so far as edge computing or fork computing is concerned. So you can definitely explore those research avenues, and you will definitely find good literature review. But here also, my sincere advice is to go for extensive literature review, go with standard papers, and then once you get substantial material, then only you zero in on the area in which you actually want to work. Just by if you get 3 to 4 papers and then you decide that this is going to be my definition or this is going to be my research gap, is not a good advice. Second, if you are not getting enough literature review, then you have to conduct the feasibility survey or the feasibility analysis. You have to check the feasibility of your research objective. Suppose I have one research objective. Is it feasible logically? Second, is it feasible technologically? Do I have tools or programming language or environments on which I can implement it? If there are simulation models, is that simulation model will allow me to integrate my code into that simulation model? Otherwise, I can code some of the finest blockchain driven computing or fork computing algorithm. But if I cannot soft code that fork computing or cloud computing scheduling algorithm or resource management optimization algorithm into the platform in which I want to work, from which I'm going to collect the result, it's not going to serve the purpose. So extensive literature review and feasibility, or if literature review is less, first focus on the literature feasibility, check the feasibility, then only submit your dissertation title or PhD title. That is my advice.
Thank you, sir. Sir, one more question. Sir, miners, sir, we have mining, for mining, we have specific hardwares. So is it possible that the cloud, like we compute things on cloud? So can mining be possible on cloud?
Uh, I'm not the subject expert so far as this mining proficiency on cloud is concerned. But what I suggest is you can download some white papers. Actually, we are always interested in research papers. But instead of that, if you Google out the white papers, so you can write the keywords plus white papers. So these white papers are sometimes written by industry professionals or industry experts or some of the company professionals from Cisco or Intel or Dell or Deloitte. So you just download the white papers, perhaps you will get the answer.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
And white paper will actually make the technology perspective very clear. So all your doubts would be clear by the end of reading the couple of white papers on that particular domain or that particular area or that particular target query.
Yes. Any questions, student? Other participants, if you are having any question, please ask.
Yeah, we still have almost 14, 13 minutes left. So sorry, I could not complete 2 hours with content delivery because these domains are quite tricky in nature. So it is difficult sometimes to plan 2 hours session on topics like research avenues or research opportunities in blockchain technology.
Right, sir. Right. Okay, so I think there are no more questions, sir. So shall we conclude the session?
Yes, thank you everyone for your patient listening. Thank you both madams for this opportunity. Thank you Professor Dhanatra sir and the authorities at Charu said for giving me this back-to-back opportunity of delivering 2 sessions in one day. Thank you one and all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation and sharing your knowledge and your valuable time with us. And we would like to see you in future also for this kind of workshops and talks, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And thank you all the participants for the successful event.
Thank you one and all. Welcome, ma'am.
Yes, sir.